All right, it's Bill, and I'm sitting down here with Tyler Warren.
Hello, how's it going?
And it's great. It's going great. But I tell you what, the best part about this whole thing is doing the Rare Hare thing the night before.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, dude, you just kill it. I'm telling you, every time I've seen Rare Hare, I think 3 or 4 times. Every time I see it, you just nail it to the wall.
Thank you so much.
And it's awesome.
It's just a lot of fun. You know, I know a lot of those guys, and we just get up there and have a laugh for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and I don't know how you do it. I mean, for those of you that, don't know what we're talking about, I mean, so there's a great gentleman that puts that together.
Tyson Leslie, yeah.
Yes. And he just piecemeals these things with artists that he knows here in Nashville.
Yeah.
And puts bands together, and oftentimes it appears to me sometimes you guys don't know that you're playing with X person like until a couple of days before, right?
Sometimes,
or at the show.
This particular show, some of us, there was kind of like a core group of musicians that knew about the songs beforehand and could fill in case anybody dropped out or anything like that. But in most cases, especially whenever he's here, and it's not like a ROCKNPOD event, like if it's just one of the Rare Hares that he's doing throughout the year, more often than not. At least in my case, because I'm so scatterbrained. Like if I'm on the show, like most times I don't know who I'm playing with until I'm there that night, and that's kind of the way it usually goes sometimes. But I think the good thing about it generally is we all are such fans of the music that we're playing that we can get up there and just do it,
Yeah, it's amazing,
and have fun with it too.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing to watch from a fan perspective.
Yeah,
from somebody sitting out in the audience, you're like, how the hell does this work? I mean,
sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, well, and I've been to a couple. I've been to one time. I went to one time that things got a little jacked up. There was, mid song, it was like somebody got lost, and it was like everybody was like, yeah, just pick it up. We'll start from here.
And somebody made a good point last night. I can't remember who it was, but there's a few musicians that do the Rare Hare thing that do Broadway, and they're used to doing things like that.
Yeah.
Like they'll do like the 4-hour shifts every day, and they're used to just calling out songs and on the spot and having to play it, so they're kind of used to that whole vibe in that situation.
Yeah.
So that's just
well, here's how it worked for me. I have this list of people that we've been interviewing today, and I have on the back of one of these sheets how we save all of these.
Uh-huh.
I've used it every freaking time. All right, so it's been
yeah.
So there is no way on God's earth I could memorize anything like what you guys do and have that whole thing. It'd be a freaking disaster for sure.
You never know.
Yeah, so what's going on with Queen right now? Are they on hiatus for the moment, or
everybody's
just working on some stuff?
Everybody's kind of doing their own thing. I just saw Adam a couple weeks ago in New York. He's been on Broadway the last 6 months doing cabaret. He just finished up.
Okay.
He just finished up. Whenever I went up there, for his last show on March 28th, and of course he just killed it.
Yeah,
as he does.
Yeah,
and Brian, I saw just did a little guest appearance with. Can't remember the artist's name, but he was at Coachella last night. I think.
Wow. Okay.
So he's kind of inching his way back out there, and I know Roger's been writing a lot, so everybody's just kind of doing their own thing for the moment, and I know that when the time is right that the Queen gears will start rolling again.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I'm glad it's staying alive.
Oh,
I mean,
that
it's still pumping, and you guys have to have that hiatus stuff for sure. I completely get that, but the music's still there. I mean, there's nothing like watching those old videos of. And you get to experience, and except for Freddie, obviously, but
sure,
you get to experience as close to that as you can possibly get.
Yeah,
and Adam does a hell of a job, and you guys in the band do a hell of a job too.
Every day that we get with them is just kind of a blessing, because I mean, it's like I tell people all the time, like this was never ever on my radar.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I grew up listening to Queen. They were one of my favorite bands whenever I was growing up because of my mom and dad, and. Like I told you, it was never on my radar. I didn't ever think they would do anything again because I grew up in the 90s whenever they were more or less done, I never thought they'd do anything together again. I never thought that they'd tour, much less I'd ever see them in person doing anything. And being here now, being able to play with them and just do all this is it's like I told you, it was never on any sort of plan or whatever. It was just... out of complete
Is it surreal
nowhere.
sometimes? Do you stand on that stage and you look around and you go, how am I standing here?
More often than not. More often than not.
Yeah, but from what I see, whenever I see you play, I know exactly why you're up there, and everybody else does too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
and whenever you get up there, it's go time. So you just kind of, I personally sort of forget about the whole fanboy side of things, because I mean, like I told you, I grew up with them and they were a very big influence for me. But once we're up there, as they would say, we're mates, and we're all in this together, and we're all up there to do the best show that we possibly can, and they just happen to be Brian and Roger.
So I've always wanted to ask you this question, and we have not had the opportunity to do that, but what did your parents think the first time when you went home or when you called them and said, okay, so I got this gig?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were kind of instrumental in the whole process, in the sense that me becoming any part of the whole Queen lore started with Roger Taylor's tribute band that he put together called Queen Extravaganza back in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on the internet, or one of either mom or dad or somebody that showed me that this thing that he was putting it together, and I was like, huh, what is this all about? I didn't think anything about it, and they were like, oh, you should send in a video, and I was like, but then I ended up doing it. I sent a drum, I sent a guitar, I sent a vocal, and it was all like YouTube. And then I got through all the sort of different stages of the audition, and then the final one was at Studio 606 in LA, which was Foo Fighters studio.
Yeah. And
Roger was there, Spike Edney, the keyboard player, was there, because it was kind of their baby. And that was when I realized it was real, and whenever I got that gig playing drums for Queen Extravaganza, I was helping my dad put a roof on a church.
There you go.
And so I mean, he busted out in tears whenever I saw that email on my phone. I was like, Dad, I kind of got this. And I wasn't even Queen, that was the tribute band,
right?
But it was Roger's thing, so it was as official as it gets. And then the Queen thing came a little bit later. It's just like, I mean, a couple years later, but obviously as soon as I got wind of that, I was like, Mom and Dad, you're not going to believe this one, but
wow,
the real Queen. But yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
so.
that's just amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I think that's so important. And I have 3 kids, and we music has always been a part of their life in some way. Our middle son, our youngest son, is very interesting. He's not very prolific at instruments, but he can play. He can play the drums. He can play the guitar. Self-taught. Just sits down and does it. Kind of stuff. I mean, he's not the greatest in the world at it yet, but he definitely, he definitely plays and has a good time. So it's amazing. Christopher Williams, get out of here.
Get out of here.
You're on in a little bit. Yeah.
Get out of here, but I also love you.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah. But yeah, it's I think that's so important. So whenever I see like a parent and a kid at a show, somewhere, I'll walk up to the parent and I'm like, this is good parenting.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said that. Because my dad kind of, he took me to see Kiss the first time in 1978.
Awesome.
And which I was 11, and so it's one of those unforgettable days. And
it's like you said, we've got our parents to blame for us.
Yeah.
My first concert, I was 4 years old, and they took me to see the Dr. Feelgood tour in 1990.
Nice. I saw that tour too. I was a little older.
Lots of firsts on that tour for me.
Yeah, I'll bet there was.
Yeah.
Here, don't pay any attention to what they're doing over there.
Don't pay any attention to the girl that's right next to you that's flashing the stage.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, they're not really that size.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
There's little bits that I still remember. I still remember Nikki breaking like this blue bass. I don't remember why I remember it was a blue one.
Wow.
But
wow.
I don't know, and it just sticks out. I don't know.
Yeah, it's amazing. So the funny thing about that too is that just has kind of stayed with us too. So on the reunion tour, when they did the first reunion tour,
Kiss?
Reunion tour.
Yeah.
I ended up flying down, and our whole family went together.
Oh, cool.
So my brothers and my sister and my dad went all together. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I think keeping that alive. So I'm telling you that story because I think the work that you're doing is keeping that alive for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, and I think that matters. So.
No, it does, and especially like this incarnation of Queen. Like I, at least in the States, I feel like they're as big or even bigger than they ever were.
Yeah.
And it's a weird feeling, and I think it has everything to do with them keeping it alive. It has everything to do with the movie that came out.
Yeah. I think the movie was a huge boost.
I'll never forget. Yeah. I'll never forget the first tour that we did after that. It was the first Rhapsody tour that we did in 2019, and the movie came out the year before, I think. And whenever you tour the States, there's always like every city kind of has its own different vibe, you know. Every audience kind of feels different. Like there's always places like Nashville, or to an extent sometimes LA. They tend to have crowds that are like, okay, show me what you got type thing, and then everyone's a little different. Some of them don't sell as well, but on that tour, the first Rhapsody tour in 2019, like there wasn't a bad show. There wasn't like a weird crowd anywhere. They were all just sold out. Every crowd went nuts, no matter where you were. And I'd never had that experience before with any artist, and it was wild.
Do you think that was because of people yearning for that? Just because it had been so long?
I think so, and I also think there were a lot of new people there too, because there were so many young people on that tour that we did after the movie. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of mind blowing. And then you've got Adam's fans that he brought in.
Yeah.
And they tend to be younger too.
Yeah.
And it was just totally different in the best way, and I couldn't believe it. It was kind of like we were like this new band, but it was Queen, you know.
That's awesome.
That's why I say I feel like it's bigger than it's ever been for them.
Yeah. So do you still call Nashville home then?
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
For more or less. I mean, I grew up in West Tennessee in this little small town called Camden, so I've been in and out of here my whole life. And but yeah, Nashville's pretty much home for me.
All right. So next on the agenda for you guys is you're working on going back out sometime?
Hopefully. I think that this year is going to be pretty quiet. I know that they're all three doing their own things, but there's always little whispers in the pipeline about what could possibly be happening in the near future, the far future. So we just kind of make sure we stay relatively. We always ask if something's going on, like if we get a show or a tour or something. So, by the way, are we open this time? And then you'll know. But they're doing their thing. I've got some solo music I've been working on that I'll hopefully put out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years since I've done a proper solo record, so I'm kind of, at first it was kind of daunting, but now I'm kind of looking forward to it now that I've kind of gotten into the swing of things with writing and recording again. So it's fun again. So I'm thinking it's going to be, and I'm thinking it's going to, and inspiration too, since I've got my lady now. So
there you go.
And she's been kicking my butt to get in gear and
they have
doing
a tendency
the writing.
To push it in a little different direction.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And in a good direction too, especially like from a writing perspective, because like I tend to be a little downy, introspective, especially in the last stuff that I've been writing, but now it's kind of changed modes.
That has a tendency to make you look at things a little bit differently.
It's funny how being happy helps a little bit.
It makes a big difference. It does, because you're really writing about experiences, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Every song is written typically because of something that happened or whatever.
And for better or worse, like whatever the experience is, if you're writing from that perspective and you're writing from a real emotion inside of you, it tends to be way more better than if you're trying to like be, at least in my own personal experience, trying to be sort of vague and weird or what have you. But if I write from the heart, whether it's good or bad, that always tends to work out way better for me. And I'm actually really excited about this batch of songs that's kind of materialized in the last month or two.
Great.
But I'm looking forward to it.
Well, when you get that all done and we're ready to talk about it a little bit more, we can have you back on.
For sure.
Love to do that.
Yeah, and
we'll see you again.
In the meantime, I got this little thing you can have. It's got,
all right,
cool. It does have 2 of the new tracks on them.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That'll give me something to listen to on the way home.
Absolutely.
I'll have to ask my wife for permission. She doesn't like all the music I like. I'm just kidding. That's not true. She gets subjected to it, and then she shakes her head.
There you go.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Well, thank you for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a blast.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Take care.
You too.